Hey, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of First Time Watch Friday. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and this is the third week and third episode of it. And I thought, well, okay, so let me preface this by saying I was originally going to do another movie that was in that whole trilogy pack that I got. And then the darndest thing happened. I watched it. It was called Blood Gnome. I watched it and I was like, this is perfect for indie film cafe and not for horror film lovers. It's a rough movie, but it's sort of made perfectly for indie film cafe, and we'll have a blast watching it. But so I wanted to find something else, and a thought hit me that I had seen this one movie at the Second Charles, which is my one of my local was new, it's in Newport News, Virginia. It's a wonderful store, and I wanted to go in there and grab it because I'd seen it there a couple times, and you're gonna know what it is by the title of the thing, but it's Devour. Um, um, Sadly, it doesn't have any like special features. It's just got like trailers or whatever, and it stars Jensen Ackles, Shannon Sosaman, Dominique Swain, and was it Bill Sadler's in it as well, but he's in it for like maybe 10 minutes, if that. So I had seen a few people do it on YouTube, and I wanted to check some people's YouTubes out to check and see what they were thinking, if they had the same reaction I did when I watched it. And oh my God, did they? Most of the people were very confused by the ending of this movie or even the movie itself. And so, yeah, this movie was very confusing. And I don't know if that was like the way it got made or whatever, but it was a very confusing movie. I absolutely adored, I liked it a lot, honestly. So one of the main reasons I'm not going to do this for like indie film cafe and I want to do it for horror film lovers is it was pretty much a studio movie. It's made by Sony Pictures, and Neil Moritz, who he's famous for doing like I Know What You Did Last Summer and a bunch of other produced movies. He might have done like the Bad Boys movies or something too, maybe not, but he was the producer for this, and this felt like a more studio, like they had a bigger budget and whatnot, and it didn't, honestly, it had some issues with it. The story idea was interesting, but I don't think they got it across in the script or in the movie itself, or maybe they lost a couple lines that would explain certain things. So the movie starts out with this guy who played by Jensen Ackles, who has, he sees daydreams sort of thing, and they're kind of affecting his life. Usually you go and get medication for that, but this guy apparently just lives his life like that. And to me, that's like not the good way to be. Like he should have a doctor he always talks to that, that can help him get these things resolved. So he doesn't already know what's real and what's not. And so on his 21st birthday, he his one of his friends introduces him to a online video game called The Pathway, and The Pathway is technically the pathway from the devil and humans or whatever. And so we don't know that. I mean, they just say it's the pathway, and the pathway will call him up or call the people up or whoever on regular phones too. It's really interesting to see like people getting regular phone calls, and there's a little bit of cell phones in it, and they will say, hey, the pathway will talk to them, and then he will see stuff, and he sees this man at one point in a dream, I guess it was a dream because the stuff happened, but then it wasn't a dream. He actually saw the guy. I don't know what it was. It was strange. Like you can't tell what's real and what's not. Now, look, I'm I hate those kind of movies. I feel like it's a device that just bothers me. And a lot of times it's not done well. I'm not going to lie, especially on like a more indie level. This might be a this might be like a $10 million movie or something. I don't know, maybe even less. Um it 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 did not it had some issues. Um so I could not understand everything. And then I read the Wikipedia, and the Wikipedia actually explained everything in the plot. Whoever wrote that Wikipedia probably actually was not just a fan of the movie, but was somebody who actually worked on the movie and did it from the script, the original script or something, because that was not the movie. They did not explain that or I didn't get that the so the apparently the devil, I guess, had sex with this woman or something, had a baby. And so he's the product of these devil worshippers, and they get their baby kidnapped by this family, and they've been trying to track down the devil worshippers, I guess, have been trying to track down and Satan's been trying to, get all the stuff in it. I don't know. It's like so fucking confusing. Such a confusing movie. Um, so the movie was called Devour, and really should not be called that because it doesn't, like there's nothing to do with that. I guess devour your soul or something, but like it just no. It should have been called The Pathway, which I bet it was originally in the original script. I bet it was called The Pathway, and then the they tested the title on people, and they were like, I don't understand what that means. And I'm like, you fucking watch the movie, you will. Like, oh, would you go see a movie called The Pathway? Yeah, I'd fucking go. If it looked cool and marketed well, I would go see it too. When people decide to do a movie and make it sound cool, but the movie itself sucks, it's sort of sad. Am I mad that I watched it? No, hell no. I loved every actor in this movie. Dominique Swain is, I always love her. She's a sweetheart. She's like, I've felt bad for her character a lot, the way that, and sort of, I liked what was sort of said, because it's something that even today, which is almost 20 years later, people are still dealing with a lot of these issues that this girl's having. This girl's having this issue where her professor wants to sleep with her, and she can't date Jensen Ackles because he knows that she slept around with all his friends and something. And so, that's a fear that she has or whatever. And, instead of explaining that to him, she keeps that shit inside. And that happens a lot. People feel like that's why they're not loved or whatever. And there's more to that. So honestly, I thought the movie it wasn't good. This is not, I mean, it wasn't, this movie wouldn't be something that if I did the stinkometer, it wouldn't become a stinky movie. Like this wouldn't, to me, maybe to Paul, this would be a stinky movie. But to me, this would probably get like a 6 on the stinkometer scale, 1 to 10, 10 being stinky and 1 being good. It would get a 6. It'd probably be closer to stinky, but it wouldn't be that terrible to me because it has these moments to it which I really dug. And I did dig the characters. I would watch this again. It's just I would watch it with the understanding that I'm not going to understand it necessarily, and that these things are not going to be well put, well articulated. But I really do like Jensen Ackles in it. I'm a huge fan. Ever since I first saw him in, was it Supernatural? A lot of people knew him from Smallville. That's kind of how he got famous. and that's how he's mentioned on the box, because this was like made right before Supernatural, and then he was like, I bet he was like, what, I'm not doing any more of these, bad B movie crap. But I absolutely loved Devour. I would love if people interviewed Jensen Ackles and asked him about this movie. See, that's what I would do if I interviewed him. I wouldn't ask about Supernatural all the time. I'd ask him, what it was like working on this film, because considering he's a new, he's been in the business for so long, but he was sort of young then. Not too young though, because he was younger in like Dawson's Creek. Yeah, Jensen Ackles was in Dawson's Creek. Look it up. It's crazy. Um, Dominic Swain, she was really big at that time for being in that movie Lolita. And Shannon Sosaman, I don't know if I think she had already done A Knight's Tale by then. And so that she was really getting super famous. And it was so funny to see the trailers, because they had like the trailer for The Cave and a bunch of other movies. And it was just like such a strange kind of like portal back in time of a certain time period where these movies were sort of a dime a dozen being made. But with all that being said, I would definitely recommend it. I would hope that it would come on like Tubi at some point to see it. Like I said, I recommend it if you're like into wanting to see like Jensen Ackles. If you're into wanting to see something, where you don't have a clue what the fuck is going on, and that's the way that they set it up the whole time, is you have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea what's happening. It's like, what the fuck? I don't understand anything. But yeah, I think you will get a kick out of it. I think it will be something that you'd be sort of into. So I would recommend it just for Jensen and Dominique and Shannon, Bill Sadler, and Rob Stewart is in it too, and I really like him. And he plays his uncle, plays Jensen Ackles' uncle, and his father is played by just so strange. He had a different last name, I guess, in the credits and stuff. So I don't know if it was supposed to always be his, but his mother had the same last name, so it was strange. But yeah, I would definitely recommend checking out this movie if you get a chance. If you have it on something, go ahead and let me know what you think. So thank you guys for checking this out, and join me next week. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing yet. I've got millions and millions. Like, I have a ton of movies to check out and pick. And so I'll pick something. I'll pick something good that probably wouldn't usually go on Indie Film Cafe. That's the plan. So thank you guys for checking this out, and hope you liked it. Bye.